welcome to Racetrack Radio. Racetrack Radio is pretty much going to be a weekly podcast that we do from myself, Justin Ritchie, and my co-host, Yannick Martin. It will be based on racing and technology news with a little bit of entertainment news if we have the time. Seeming that it's... Exactly, and because it's the off-season, we don't have a whole lot of racing news, so you'll see it be more, prominent with the technology.
Obviously, well, very, I guess, off-season topics about racing, and obviously a lot of tech, because during the winter, for some reason, there's a lot of tech news.
There is
People
a fair
get bored during the snow and shit.
Anyways, on to the first article. We have it from Speed TV. Speed TV has been going on for, 10 years now? And they just signed a contract with A1GP, which has only been like a year, if that.
That's their second season.
Yeah, second season. And so they signed a contract with them to carry the rest of the shows. So they're on race 5 now, I believe, and they're going to carry all 9 of 12 episodes this season. So, like the Czech race, which was on October 8th, is actually going to be broadcasted on Speed on Wednesday.
Oh, that's great.
So,
coverage.
yeah, it's pretty spread apart, but as you see further down the line, they show China on the 20th, Malaysia on the 27th, and it gets closer together. So pretty soon they will catch up. A1GP is actually, I'm pretty excited about it. You probably would be even more excited about it because you're very into the national stuff. You're proud to be Canadian.
I don't even have speed, which sucks.
I know. That's really disappointing.
Yeah.
But I know you like Canada, and so you would have, a little Canadian hat on. You would be really excited about the series, because the series is actually it's an open-wheel racing series, and what it's actually about is nations. It's all the nations compete, like France and China and Canada, and instead of a constructor like Ferrari or Renault. So pretty much it's like that, but to go along with that, the drivers are rookie drivers from that country. So that really spices it up and gets a lot of countries involved instead of,
Canada's not doing so good this year. Well,
you know what? Canada, it's the second season.
No, 8. Yeah.
Well, you know what? You should probably try out, but I don't think they're taking French people. Maybe you should try out for They're actually the current champions, which is surprising.
Champions, really?
Yeah, they're the current champions.
So the
Anyways,
champion leaders are the Germans, but the French won the last race.
Yeah. So anyways, they have 23 teams, and it's coming to. It's going to be exciting. I haven't actually watched it yet. I know a guy that used to watch it on OLN2, which is, who has OLN2?
Oh,
like
I'm watching a little highlights video, and you saw the Canadian car just spin in the pits.
Well, they are noobs, so what can you say? Anyways, more speed news. Speed and Fox have actually teamed up. What they're doing is, because not everyone has speed like yourself, they're going to show 4 races of the Formula 1 series on Fox.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it is, for people that don't have ESPN, right? So Fox will be covering Indianapolis, Canada, France, and Britain. So it's going to be fun. I hope David Hobbs gets to do the Fox, because he is my favorite commentator.
Well, he has to do it. If he doesn't do it, it won't be as good. But
really, I thought they would have got people from Fox to do it.
Yeah, maybe, but they're NASCAR noobs.
Yeah, that's true.
Are they going to present it simultaneously on ESPN and Fox, or just Fox?
You know what? I have no idea.
Oh.
But they're only going to cover 4 races.
Okay.
So hopefully Speed still covers them alongside with Fox, because I like the choice. Like ESPN, when they show Formula 1, the engines are just too loud. And speed, I like it for David Hobbs. And because he is one witty man.
Of course.
Very funny. Anyways, I guess that's all for Speed News.
So.
Speed TV is one of my favorite channels because of its coverage. I like SEMA, that was alright. I watched that. I also watched it on TLC, but that wasn't as fun. But, you know, what can you do? And the wind is picking up over here.
It doesn't matter.
Anyways,
don't blow away.
that is the main part. Okay, so next news we have is Marco Andretti, which has been racing for Andretti Green for how long now in the IRL?
His first. Well, he just completed his first season.
First season, almost won the Indy 500.
Yeah.
But still pretty young.
19.
But Tony Kanaan speaks pretty highly of him. Says he's like phenomenal on cold tires.
He's the heritage of quite a great.
Yes, he is. He has to suck up to him. Yeah, just make sure you're friends with him. That's for sure.
Of course.
So, anyways, Marco Andretti is actually testing a Honda F1 car on Friday.
19 years old and inside an F1 already.
But Alonso, he's won 2 titles and he's what, 22?
23, yeah.
Yeah. So you gotta compare it, but Marco's good and all, but I don't know if he's ready for Formula 1.
Well, he won't be there for at least 2 years because of his contract with Andretti Green Racing, but
yeah, that's
we
true.
Never know, since his dad owns this thing. He might
but
let him go.
Seeming that Andretti actually got into Le Mans, and I think it's the American Le Mans series. Do you think maybe they'll switch over to F1 as well?
I don't know. I doubt
like an Andretti F1 team. I wonder who their.
But I doubt it.
It would be the XM satellite car.
That would be
nice
fun.
colors.
Well,
nice colors.
Yellow.
Yeah, I like the black. That's nice. But again, with Honda, which is their primary sponsor, well,
for the Indy car.
Yeah, for Indy. Honda in F1, because of the smoking ban, they've lost their sponsorship.
That's gonna
so
ruin
lucky
the
strike. Yeah, and I personally think Honda, the 2006 car, was the best of all.
Well, they did have a great livery, but don't forget that the livery is really the Lucky Strike livery. Like, you have the beige, the red, the black and shit. But what?
Yes, and shit.
Yes, and shit. But what's up with the ban? Like, I know the anti-smoke stuff and shit. Like, I'm against the smoking and all, but like, I don't really care about the branding and publicity and shit. Like, my wallpaper is the Lucky Strike logo. No joke, it really is. But imagine the cars next year without the cigarette brands. Like, with Renault, it won't be too bad because they're getting this new sponsor, ING. Some people have started making models with like the same thing, but instead of the blue, it's like black with an ING on the side. But that's the cigarette branding. That's totally gonna kill Honda if they really take the livery out. And imagine Ferrari. Like, I can't see Ferrari without Marlboro on there.
Yeah.
It's really gonna be...
It's unheard of. You know, when you think of Ferrari, you think of Marlboro. I've never went out and bought a Marlboro because I like Team Ferrari. I don't understand the smoking ban. If they're gonna smoke, they're gonna smoke.
Exactly.
Like, it's crazy.
Unless you really ban smoking in the country, and it's not brands that's gonna make him smoke or not. It's like in Canada, they put those stickers of like disease shit on the backs. It's like
it's the forbidden fruit aspect.
As if that's it might tell them like they're not touching that pack or something. But if they want to smoke, they're still gonna smoke, and they won't give about the pack images.
That's correct.
They might even throw away the pack and keep the cigs in some kind of other kind of pack. Maybe an old 1995 pack they kept without the images and stuff.
But, you know, it's still, people usually have their brands, you know. So, I see where it could play a part, but I doubt it's going to stop anyone from smoking or not give them the hints of, hey, maybe you should try.
Exactly.
But as you see, this show is already going all over the charts.
just in, for example, in Champ Car, the cigarette branding in there for like, what, 4 years ago? Totally killed one team. Team Flares. Like, the team name was the cigarette brand. They became, what, Foresight? But,
yeah, I guess.
Like, the livery didn't change too much. They kept the
I like their
colors and
cars.
stuff.
Very nice,
But
blue.
they had to change the name and all. But really in
It's
F1,
madness,
it's
really
going to be something to look out for. Some teams well adapted, like for example, McLaren this year went okay when they ditched the cigarette brands. They went for whiskey instead. Williams,
From one extreme to another.
Exactly. Williams, well, they dumped that almost 10 years ago when they went for compact HP when BMW came. But apart from that, I don't know. It's gonna be weird.
Yeah, it is for sure because the Formula Racing and teams that we know of is being destroyed by
obviously
imaging, of course. Well, anyways, our next story is salary in Formula One.
Oh, yes.
So we've Kimi Raikkonen, which just switched over from McLaren, and he's going to be making $1 million per week.
$1 million a week.
So that's what it's roughly based. So it's going to be about $52 million annually.
Well, that's if he gains it every week. Is it every race week or every week?
I don't know. I don't know a lot of things, but I'll tell you this. It's a rough estimate.
Okay.
But it's going to be exciting.
It says here, according to Swiss newspaper Blick, the driver's salary for 07 will be 51 million. Wow, 16 million more than Alonso.
Yeah, 16 more than Alonso, which is a two-time champion.
That's amazing. 51 million, that's more than that. Oh shit. That's almost more than almost more than Schumacher.
Yeah, Schumacher was making a bunch of stuff. And the secondary drivers, Massa, he's only making 10 million.
You're joking.
10 million.
Well, that's what happens when you suck.
Well, come on.
Oh, he's
dude,
okay, but
you could get a 5-position penalty for that one right there.
Yeah, I know.
But Button, Jensen Button, my favorite, is making 16 million. 16 million. And Barrichello, he's making 10.
Only 10 for all those years?
Yeah.
He's been there since, I don't know, man.
Day 4.
He was there in 94. I don't know if he was there in 93, but wow. And only 10 million?
Yeah,
wow,
10 million.
That's amazing.
And same with Massa. And he's like...
Yeah, but Massa's like young and breaks cars and stuff.
He is race cars. He is the definition of race cars. But don't get in his way. That's all I have to say. But also Hamilton, Lewis Hamilton, the GP2 star, he's been signed for $2.8 million.
Well, that's okay for a start, but...
That's okay. That's okay. But,
Kubica's gonna get 2.8.
Yeah, that's surprising, because he brought BMW out of nowhere. And, you know, that's a good segue into Jacques Villeneuve's going to Craftsman Trucks.
That's funny stuff.
That's our next story, actually. So, he was looking for sponsorship for the longest time once he got fired. And he was like, you know what, I'm going to get my own team. And he found out how much F1 costs. So he said, you know what, I'll go after, stock cars. Well, he was refused a seat in NASCAR Nextel.
Well, he used to partly own an F1 team, BAR, when he started there.
When he started.
Yes, but then sold it
off. And now he's overstayed his welcome. He's done.
Yeah.
And like all ex-good racers, they go to NASCAR.
Obviously.
But NASCAR isn't welcoming him too soon.
Yeah.
Pretty much what he's doing is he's searching for sponsors, and he's joining the Craftsman Truck Series. That's right, from F1 cars
to trucks
to pickup trucks. That's
no,
that's correct.
Funny.
Not even NASCAR.
Yeah.
He has to go in truck series, and then he's planning a mid-season switch to the Busch series.
Mid-season.
Yeah.
So I still don't get that though.
Well, once he's earned a few wins or poles. Well, they don't even have poles.
Well, can't he start directly in Busch or in the, what's it called? Montoya went in like
Yeah,
something?
yeah, I know. He went in ARCA series,
Yeah,
and
ARCA.
he's straight in there. And well, it may be different because Montoya actually won something in the past few years.
Yeah.
But the hammering has started, and we are on to... Do you have anything else to say about that? Because I know he's your personal favorite.
This guy's just... I don't know.
Would you switch to NASCAR, though?
Personally, I wouldn't, unless there's really no other option, but... I don't know.
Yeah, that's
true. He could have went into DTM like all the others.
And that's a more respectable sport.
Yes.
But
everyone's in there, like... Hakkinen, Lazy, Frentzen, Hill, they're all in there. Why didn't he even go there?
I don't know. Maybe he's just not good enough anymore, and he's gonna go race with the people that can't actually race. They can just drive
and bump around.
Yes, yes. It's like Dave Despain said. It's not racing anymore. It's whoever crashed last is the winner.
Of course.
And that's pretty true. That's pretty true. Also, we're going to get to some betting after the next story. There's some very strange odds in betting in the Formula 1 season, which is upcoming. That is pretty loud.
Oh, it's amazing.
Anyways, the next story we have is Hornish, Sam Hornish that is, to fill in for Jimmy Johnson.
Broke his wrist at a celebrity golf tournament.
Of all things, one for charity. And what happened? He wasn't holding on tight enough?
I don't know. He was on the golf court, like the cart. I mean,
yeah?
The golf cart, and I don't know. The driver turned too fast for him or something, and like he just fell off and heard a pop.
Ah, the pop.
Yes.
Well, what can you do? So anyway, Sam Hornish has been contacted. He may be filling in for this weekend's race.
Well,
they're not actually sure. Not sure.
It's not sure yet, but
most likely it will be him.
Since we've heard a bit of a lot about
Hornish.
A bit of a lot of Hornish going to NASCAR. Maybe that's his entry chance.
Another sad disappointment.
Yes.
Same with AJ Allmendinger.
What's with him?
He had potential, and what is he doing? Dabbling in some sport that he's going to waste all of his talent on. He's going to end up waking up, he's like, what? He's going to be like 40, he's going to be like, well, now I'm stuck here forever. Sure, the money's great, but
man.
How long can you last in NASCAR? Like, look at Michael Waltrip. He hasn't won since how long?
Since the last 50 years he's been.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. I don't even like the guy.
No.
I can't stand the guy. But well, it's too bad because he was really promising. I see that's the problem though. Champ Car isn't respected in Formula One's eyes.
Unfortunately.
If you're in Champ Car, like Paul Tracy, you're not going to be the next F1 star.
Well, I wouldn't think Tracy would have gone to F1, personally.
Yeah, I know. He's quite happy there.
Bourdais would have had a chance.
Yeah, for sure. If he would have jumped on GP2, he would be the next Lewis Hamilton.
Of course.
And
he totally wants to go there.
Yeah, he does. You didn't see that controversial hit, that last pass?
Well, I heard about
on there. It was pretty risque, but hey, that's racing.
Yeah,
he bumped him. Oh well. But the guy was a good sport about it. Anyways, on to the betting.
Yes.
You actually found this.
Yes, I found this site. I forget where I found the link, but it's called Ladbrokes. There's a section in there that talks about Formula One, the championships for 2007, the odds and how you can bet on the teams for the constructors.
The constructor
Yes.
and the drivers.
And the drivers. And Ferrari is obviously at the top of the odds.
Wow, that's 4 to 5?
Yes, and Kimi Raikkonen at the top by a hell of a lot, 11 to 8, compared to Alonso only 2 to 1.
I know, what is up with that? Like, Kimi, I know he's awesome and all, but I don't see him as the next F1 superstar.
Well, he has the Ferrari.
He does have the Ferrari,
And
but
look,
he doesn't have a personality.
I know, the guy's cold like hell, but dude, he's a Finn.
Yeah, that's
Alonso,
true.
That's the death move. Alonso moving to McLaren.
The unreliable car.
The guy won 2 championships in a row and moves to McLaren. The last time they won was like in 2000. And Raikkonen couldn't even win one. Well, he could if the car would have been good.
He had no choice, though. What was he going to do? Renault's like, well, I don't think we're going to be here next year. Yeah. And McLaren's like, you know what, let's jump on this. Hey, you know,
but is
why
Renault
not?
There next year? Yes.
Yes, but they've always I think this is our last year.
Yeah, but they did that already. And they did leave, but...
Yes, but once they're back, I don't know. But Ferrari has been flawless until the end of the season.
Yeah,
so I think he might take it away.
It's a chance, but what surprised me here is in the odds, Anthony Davidson is at like 0. Is 1,000 to 1. He's like at the bottom of the list. Albert, Montero, and Sato are higher than Davidson, and the guy could drive better than. I don't want to say Button because you're going to be mad at me.
You know what? But I can admit that he drove faster than Button.
The guy
in some. He is good.
Well, maybe the odds are against him because he's moving to Super Aguri, I think. Yeah.
Yes, he is. And Super Aguri, if you didn't know, sucks. They're actually 500 to 1 in the odds.
Well, the last. Even Spiker has a hell of a lot more chances than them.
Their whole rear end ripped apart that last time.
Yeah, that was quite an amazing.
But they actually offered Hamilton $20 million.
20 million.
Dude, 20 million.
Who, Spiker?
Yeah, they're serious about this. They are getting into Formula One. They said, "Listen, Hamilton, come over to our team. We will pay you $20 million." I think it was over 4 years.
Sucks. Well, it's getting slowly better. But what do you have done?
Slowly better.
Good team, smaller pay, good team chances of winning races, or going to crappy team and winning like 10 times the salary you'd get at the other place.
Yeah. Well, it's true. I wouldn't go to Super Aguri personally.
Super Aguri. I wouldn't go there either.
I know.
But would you go to Spiker for $20 million instead of 2.8 at McLaren?
It's a nice paint job, though. You got to admit, it's a nice paint job, and the silver, a little.
It's a little confusing again. I don't know that.
Yeah, just like Midland.
The cheap team has always been hard to distinguish. At one point, it was called. Toro Rosso bought that team, but the Spiker's the cheap team. How was it called again? Minardi. They had a black car at a point where McLaren was black. They had a yellow car when Jordan was yellow. They had a gray car when Arrows was gray. They had now they have the orange car when Ferrari's red, dish, flashy kind of thing. They had the black with red wings when McLaren had the black with red wings. Like, what's up with that?
They can't make a name for themselves, so they have to ride off of other people's coattails.
Oh, look, there's a McLaren. Oh, no, wait, it's a Minardi.
Yeah, I know. It's very true. Well, what are the bet? What would you bet on personally?
I don't know. I've always liked Raikkonen, to tell you the truth, but
Oh yeah, he's an awesome driver.
I have trouble seeing him in Ferrari.
Really?
Yes, like I see Raikkonen, I see the flashy, cool, high-tech McLaren. I don't see some kind of smooth, self-drivable Ferrari. The guy's rough on the cars. Why do you think he'd always break the McLarens?
That's why they weren't very reliable last year. And imagine now with the engine lock. They can't change it. The engine freeze is going to kill them if he continues driving like that.
For sure.
And especially, what's his name? That guy. I can't even remember his name right now. Weber.
Weber. Oh, shit. He's gonna blow up Red Bull, man.
They're gonna fire him. They're gonna be like, listen.
Have Coulthard, but
yeah,
the guy's getting old. But he's cool.
He's getting old.
He is,
He's
man. The guy, Coulthard replaced Senna.
Okay, yeah, well, that's a long time. That's all. Well, Michael Schumacher, look, he just left
out
now. He's out now. That gives Coulthard 2 years?
But the oldest guy is well, the more ancient, I should say, is
ancient.
Yes, Barrichello.
But yeah, that's
He's
true.
turning pretty much at the same time as Schumacher.
Yeah, but he hasn't had as much success.
Yeah, but he's still fun.
He is fun. I don't know about. He looks a little weird though.
He's funny.
I haven't heard any of his jokes, but he seems like a nice guy to me.
I remember him in the days of Stuart Ford, the old before. Wait, Red Bull was Jaguar, but before Jaguar it was Stuart Ford. The car was white with some kind of Scottish design pattern on the side, but it was blue. It was like white with a line of blue, kind of checkered stuff.
Like Argyle socks.
Yeah, kind of. I'll try to find a picture for you. Unfortunately, people. Yeah. I'll try to put it up on the website.
Yeah, which is still under construction,
no,
but
well, it's gonna be released with this.
Yeah, just we're yet to buy the domain.
Yeah.
But again with the odds, Honda is 6-1.
Yeah.
But so is Renault. I like Honda personally, but I hope they don't destroy that paint. They're going to. They're gonna have to.
Sure. It's for sure the paint goes away.
Just let's hope they don't get something ridiculous like Aquafina or some crappy sponsor. It's gonna turn their car into junk.
Kind of funny. Oh.
It would be.
Dude.
Aquafina is their main sponsor.
I'm laughing my ass off, literally.
Yes. Yeah, but Honda and Renault, same odds?
Honda and
6-1. 6-1.
Renault, they don't have any drivers anymore. They have, Fisichella, but that guy sucks. And
okay, see, look at that.
Kovalainen,
he sucks?
Dude, what the hell did he do last year? Tell me.
He didn't do much. He didn't do much at all. But you know what? Renault is still the empire that it was the last 2 seasons.
I guess, but...
So they may be able to carry that through, but as you said, I doubt it. It's going to be Ferrari, McLaren, and probably Honda or even BMW.
Yeah, but I don't know how BMW is going to do next year, though.
Well, they're not paying that guy very much.
Toyota's high. Very, very high compared to BMW.
Oh, yeah. They got the aerodynamic guy from... Yeah.
I'm amazed Red Bull stayed that well.
Yeah. It's... By the way, that car is ugly as hell.
Pretty funny stuff.
That is... Although, the Jaguar, that was one of the best...
Yeah, that was nice.
It
was.
Beautiful. It's beautiful.
I'll put a pic of the Jaguar on the site, too.
You gotta see the car. It is probably one of the best paint jobs.
Oh, really? It's the flashy green.
Oh man, beautiful. And the Jaguar on the snorkel thing.
I'll try to find a pick while you continue
But
speaking.
Ralph Schumacher is actually better odds than Kubica.
Yeah, but...
You know, he is at BMW. BMW took it away. They were like, okay, we're finally finding a solution to our crappiness. So, and, you know, getting rid of Jacques Villeneuve is the best thing they've done in years.
Well, it's hard to say because he left just before BMW became good.
Because of the replacement driver.
You think?
You see? I think it is. Well, although he probably could have, even he could have won at Monza. You know,
Yeah. Do you think
that,
this is a good pick?
That pick is close to beautiful.
Not the front pick, the side pick.
I know. That's a nice picture. It really is.
Did we put that one on the side?
I think so.
Okay.
Nice blurriness. I don't even know who's driving that. Ugly helmet.
Looks like De La Rosa. I'm not sure.
See, I'm not a historian like yourself. I'm rather new to the sport.
Yeah. Oh.
At least I pick up on things quickly.
Of course.
Anyways, that's all for the betting news. The betting, so go out and make your picks. You know, I would bet on it, but I'm not sure yet. It's very difficult to say
Let's
because
make
Ferrari
a Racetrack radio bet here for next year. I don't know if we're gonna remember what we said, but so who do you place for the constructors? Maybe top 3 and a top 3 in the drivers. So you don't have to say the number 1 unless you know it, but you can say who will finish in the top or 2 or 3.
All right. Well, I personally think Ferrari, Honda, and Renault.
Really?
I think so. Although Lewis Hamilton, it's very difficult because
we've never seen the guy race in F1.
Well, yeah, in F1, but GP2 is. I'm getting a little sketchy here, but it may just be better. Like as one guy said, racing is GP2. Politics is Formula 1.
Yeah. What about
GP2? Have you seen them tuck under each other, like right
crazy.
underneath the gearbox? Like where Formula 1 cars, they're aerodynamically independent, and they get screwed up by other cars.
What about Kovalainen? Doesn't he come from GP2 too?
I actually don't know.
I think he does. He's going to be at Renault next year.
But you know what? The bets they have up here, Ferrari, McLaren, Honda, look pretty good to me.
Yeah.
Except for Honda,
I don't know, man.
I'm a Honda fan, but I don't think they're going to... BMW is still a competitor in this, in my eyes.
Waiting to see how they're going to do next year, because this year they finished well, but I don't know, man.
I just hope Honda doesn't have the same problems with the engine as they did in Monza, because that was
no fun.
Oh, let's test out our 2007 engine and give the other teams a look at what we're made of. And they blew up what 3 times in 4 laps. But who do you think?
I don't know. The thing here looks quite good, but I'm not sure about Honda though. Honda and Renault are equal in that chart.
They are. But Honda has the awesome Jensen button.
Yeah, but Williams changing to Toyota next year. I don't know how that's going to change a lot or not.
Toyota's seeping a lot of money into this.
Yes,
so.
they have they're going to supply 3 teams next year: Toyota, Williams, and Red Bull. Is it Red Bull or Toro Rosso? Red Bull.
I'm not sure.
I think it's Red Bull because Toro Rosso. I think they're getting the Ferraris. No, one's.
STR. No, STR is Ferrari. Toro Rosso is going with Ferrari.
Wait, one of them is getting... Unless it's Spiker is getting Toyota, I think, because Red Bull's getting Renault, and Toro Rosso's getting Ferrari next year. I think that's what it is.
Huh. Well,
I know there's 3 Toyota teams, that's for sure.
They do have the odds pretty...
Yeah.
Pretty good. I would say those are accurate.
Well,
like Raikkonen, Alonso, Massa. I don't think Massa will be a crowd.
I don't think Massa would be in the top 3, and I'm still unsure about Alonso. Like, the guy's he's a great driver, but he's going to McLaren. I like McLaren personally. I like McLaren a lot, but
Beautiful nose cone.
yeah,
Love that.
but their reliability in the last years is like it
Yeah.
doesn't work. So I don't know if Button's
And
off to a
the
good start at the end of the season.
Second-time world champion cannot afford his engine blowing up. Like at Monza, blew up on him. And it's madness. It really is. And with the engine freeze, it's just going to bring more trouble.
It won't be fun.
Because now it's like, oh, you can't adapt to the engine? Well, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to leave. Because our engine's like this for the next 4 years.
Yeah, that's what happened to Montoya. Breaks the
Oh,
cars,
no,
the
not
engines.
Montoya.
Out the door you go into NASCAR.
Into NASCAR,
Yeah.
But, where else was the guy going to go? He had potential, but now he's stuck.
He had potential. Well, he did, but the guy, it was unlucky for him because he could have won something in the Williams if the Williams wouldn't break down. I think he's hard on the cars because he broke the Williams he was in, he broke the McLarens he was in. I think that guy is the problem.
I wouldn't doubt it, but you know what? Maybe NASCAR's where he's meant to be because you can't go wrong with. I can't think of the word.
With bumping around.
No, what the hell's that called? I can't even think of it. I'm ashamed of myself. Oh man. What's it called? The engine restriction. The something.
What are you talking
racing.
about?
You know NASCAR, right?
What about NASCAR?
They use the engine restrictions where you just hold the throttle and there you go. There's a special term for that. What's it called? I don't know. Restrictor plate. Restrictor plate racing. You pretty much hold down the pedal, you go around,
don't really
and there's
tape it down.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I'm surprised they don't. But I guess the pits would come across as a problem.
Yeah.
Anyways, on to technology news.
Of course, technology news.
One of my favorites.
Let's see.
Yeah,
go ahead.
All right. Well, the Dell XPS, which has been their high performance gaming sort of console. They have came out with the XPS Tower and the laptop, which actually beat out Alienware several years in a row. But it was huge. It was, oh man, it was one beefy laptop. Like I can't even stand my laptop, let alone one 3 times the size. Anyways, what they're planning on doing is putting Blu-ray in there.
Oh, that's a bad thing.
Why do you think that's a bad thing?
Blu-ray, man. It's the new Betamax.
Look,
Sony brought all sorts of
obsolete
formats that can't even fit to the rest of the world. There was VHS. Sony brought in Betamax. Who died? Betamax.
That was because of
what?
Oh, come on. How about mini disc? I love mini disc.
I love mini disc. I still see people with those things.
I have a mini
want
disc.
One of them.
No one actually knew what it was, though. That was the problem. No one had heard of it, and they cost like $400,000.
That's the thing. Everything they bring in costs a hell of a lot of money, man.
When there's something equally as good or better for cheaper and more popular.
What about the electronic devices? SD cards. What do Sony bring? How is it called? The memory
the flash
sticks.
memory.
The memory sticks. Dude, get the same fucking thing.
Yeah, you have to beat them to the punch and compete.
And now
not bring out something totally different.
HD DVD, which is easy to know what it is. It's a high definition DVD.
Very simple.
Yes. And what do they bring in? Blu-ray. What the hell does Blu-ray mean?
Well, Blu-ray has been in production for a while. They've been planning this for what, 2-3 years?
Well,
it's not like
too. Well, I forget what
Wow.
this. I think they had another name in the first place. They were gold. I think it's the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. But HD DVD is actually a new sponsor on Dignation.
Yeah. Like
That's
HD DVD is the thing. Like
it is.
it costs not a lot of money. Like
Yeah, it's
they
cheaper.
added an HD DVD extension for the Xbox, and if you go, for example, a Future Shop, you can get that extension, like the drive, to read HD DVDs, and
Yeah,
you get a free movie for 200
and a
bucks.
free what one? Braveheart.
I don't know. I think you can choose actually, but
Oh well, that's pretty good.
yeah. But if you look Blu-ray, I saw a preview the other day of a Blu-ray um, like disc maker for your
Yeah,
computer, a burner, a Blu-ray
yeah.
burner for your computer. I think it was like $3,500 or something like that
For just a drive?
for Blu-ray burner.
Wow.
It's
That
ridiculous.
can it always play them back?
I hope.
Oh man, that would be crazy.
It's ridiculous, man. And Blu-ray simply causing problems. Just here, PlayStation 3, obviously by Sony.
They brought out Talladega Nights with it.
Yeah, but like they put Blu-ray in the PlayStation 3, and that's what really, I won't say
Drove up the cost.
drove up the cost by at least $150 to $200 of the product. But I wasn't gonna say retarded. Well, I could have said retarded, but
You very well could. We're
yes,
not trying to escape.
postponed the delivery of the PlayStation 3 by a hell of a lot of months. But people,
And then under-delivered even after that.
yeah, but people are so annoyed by these players, mainly because of the cost. But they won't be able to play HD DVDs. It's gonna be
They'll have to buy a whole new system.
exactly. It's gonna be only
crazy.
Blu-rays, and even the games aren't all that great that play in there.
Well, they've only been out for so long. Like the N64 motorbike.
Yeah.
That's funny. But hey, you know what? Give them time.
But it's mainly
Because
the price that the PlayStation 3 owners are complaining about, because like
oh yeah.
it's totally bringing it by $200, man. How much is the PS3? Like $600 around?
It's 499 for the small
Yeah,
one.
the cheap one.
And then $599 for the big one,
Really?
I believe. I
Wow,
think. I don't know.
they're cheap. in
I
your
don't
place.
I
That's good.
at
Here
my place.
they're around like at least they say at least for the holiday season, anyways. Sony's PS3 around $600. When you check the competitors, Xbox 360 during the holidays, and also when it came out, $400. That's already a $200 less price. That is boosted up by the Blu-ray, and even Nintendo,
Yeah.
the Wii, however you call it, the
The
Wii.
Yes, the Wii.
I call it the Y because it just sounds better. The Wii, it costs $250, but that can't even
Except
read
for-
HD or Blu-ray. It's just like plain
Except for
old
no one
shit.
knows what you're talking about. They
Yeah.
think you're talking about the YMCA. You're like, oh, I bought the Y.
Yeah,
But-
the Wii. Like what? What
and
the hell
case
is
in-
that name, anyways?
And case in point about the Blu-ray, the Dell XPS laptop
Mhm.
that is coming out with Blu-ray, going to be $3,700.
See?
Now XPSs have always been expensive,
Yeah,
but I think this is a benchmark of prices
But
in
do
laptops.
they blew up?
I think they don't blow up anymore. I
Okay.
believe they recalled a lot
that
of
was
batteries.
a Dell Sony thing.
Yeah,
I do believe.
well, if you didn't know, Dell is just Sony's with a different case
Exactly.
because they just ship them in, assemble,
Sony Vaio.
ship them out.
I think
I
those are the
don't.
laptop names.
Either way, that's interesting
Mhm.
because Blu-ray, I would never. DVD is going to be around for a while.
Oh yeah.
Get HD DVD, you can play both DVDs, which have been out for how long? Because
How
people are
long?
seriously getting sick of replacing their collection.
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, now I just have to spend all this more money on getting a new system
But
and
yeah.
replacing all my own.
But don't forget with
Yeah.
HD DVDs or even Blu-ray, either one, if you want to have them, you still have to put a lot of money in it. You have to either
Buy a
change your
TV.
collection, you have to buy the the thing, the player, unless if you can get it cheap, for example, with your Xbox. You have to buy a TV.
Which has to be like, what, 1080p?
I guess that's the best resolution.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's an investment, man.
It is. And you know what? 20 years later, not that TVs last that long, especially plasmas, but you're going to have to do it all over for the next big crave. You know, it's no good. It really isn't good. So our next topic is, which one's that going to be? The Vertu?
Yes.
All right. The Vertu cell phone. You may have heard about these. They're very fancy cell phones. They're a line from Nokia, which are a little more expensive than Nokia phones. Pretty much what they're made out of. They have leather. They have like titanium, carbon fiber. They are very nice phones. The only downside is they're heavy and they cost $6,000 each.
$6,000.
That's the only problem. For a phone, and you have to pay for the service anyways, and the activation
in the U.S.
Yeah, well, they better work with something, you know, not just calling cards, you know.
Yeah.
That,
they look so nice though.
They are beautiful, and the thing about these are on the back they have etched racing tracks. Oh, wow. So this week they added Monaco and the Nürburgring. And so they actually have this box that you can buy. It's called the Racetrack Legends, and it has Monza, Silverstone, Indianapolis, Le Mans, Monaco, and Nürburgring. Why do you always laugh when I say Le Mans?
Because it's funny how you say Le Mans.
I have to make sure I say it at least somewhat correctly. Anyways.
And you laugh at my why.
Okay, well, that's a totally different letter. Okay. Anyways, so that's, what, 6 phones, $6,000 each, and they come in a beautiful box, which is nice. Made out of, beautiful. It's like carbon fiber.
They even give cases. And it's
yeah, I know. Those are nice. Yeah.
But, I don't know, man.
They're only making 1,000 pieces.
Phones.
Yeah, I know. And how long are you going to keep that phone? Really? If you had,
well, if you don't use it.
Yeah, that's true. But I would put it in a shelf, but not for 6,000 each.
Yeah. Well,
like that's what? That's like what, $12,000 on phones?
Yeah, but imagine the price they're going to cost, and I don't know what time when they're going to be really collector's items.
Yeah, well, only 1,000 pieces, so I guess they have a collectability.
But how many phones are they going to release?
I don't know, but they just finished this, I guess.
Okay.
I guess that's all for the Racetrack Legend. But this isn't their only thing. This is Vertu, right? Mm-hmm. Under Vertu, they have different categories, which aren't only the Racetrack Legends. But, hey, if someone could do this for a cheaper price, I would buy one. Mm-hmm. A racetrack, like they have the track etched onto the back. It's very nice. Mm-hmm. Just find a way to bring it to the people cheaper. The only thing I disagreed with was when I was reading the article, the guy said a down payment for a Porsche. Mm-hmm. $6,000 is not a down payment for a Porsche. Maybe if you bought the whole case.
Well, Vertu makes nice phones, though.
They do. But, again, overpriced, and they're Nokia. But that's just a personal preference.
Yeah.
But,
I think it's
anyway.
the accent collection, Cause they really like
those are nice. And, like, the little metal bracket on it.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice.
I like the Constellation ones.
I haven't looked at them all, but I know they're pretty pricey.
Vertu.com, you can check around.
Yeah. All right. Well, what news do you have for us today?
Something about flash memory. Everyone knows
flash memory.
Flash memory is. Well, those days are finished. Goodbye,
really?
flash
memory. That's
memory.
disappointing.
Yes.
Especially for Apple, which is rumored to be putting flash memory in the phone, the iPhone.
Really? They're not going to use hard drive like the iPods?
No, not that I know of.
Mm.
They're going to use flash memory.
Wow.
Anyways, we'll get to that later.
Okay,
Carry on.
flash memory is gone. It's face change memory. That's how they call it. According to the AFP, which is, I have no idea what it is, something in San Francisco. Yeah. It's supposedly 500 to 1,000 times faster than any conventional flash memory and uses about half as much power to boot.
Wow. How big are they?
That's a good question. They don't actually tell it though. But
So will they be replacing the flash drive?
Well, that's what they seem to say here, but I
That
don't
would
know,
be
man.
good. Like, I know they don't boot that slow, but hey, that would be awesome.
It's going to be much faster. For example, if you put your flash memory drive on your computer, it's not all that fast, man.
Yeah. Well, I've never tried such a thing.
Well, you don't have a flash memory stick?
I'm not sure. Well, I have a little tiny one, but
Okay, well,
I
those
rarely
things
use
can
that.
be slow, and imagine that 500 to 1,000 times faster, man. That's like, whoa.
But is that necessary?
Why not?
Like, I understand the advancement of technology is very important, but come on. 5,000 times?
Not 5,000. 500 to 1,000.
Well, you know what? I think we should bump that up to 5,000. And then
funny.
it's called ridiculous. I don't even know how they would benchmark. Oh, yeah, it's 5,000 times faster.
Why not?
Why not? That is the question.
So I think that's my pretty much wrap up of my tech news, and we have like a little less than 10 minutes to go. That's
A little less 10. It went by fast.
Yes,
That's good.
it's going well.
Thought we would be dawdling on a few subjects, but luckily we got into some deep subjects there.
Everything's good.
So we will be releasing this weekly, which will be good. Do you know the domain that we'll be purchasing?
I'm not sure, but for now it's quite easy. We use lfsindy.com/RTR, I believe. Yes, it is.
All right.
So lfsindy.com. That's easy. Then /RTR. And then, yep, that's the website so far.
All
We
right.
should get the domain within the next few
week.
weeks. Yep.
Yeah, and so we'll be releasing this weekly. So we'll try and keep up to date. This week was a little filled with tech because of the off season of racing.
It was kind of equalized, anyways.
A1GP is
That's gonna
in
be
season.
something.
Yeah, I really wish he got speed, but
Yeah.
it's too bad. Anyways, we'll go on with a couple little tiny subjects we got here.
How do we call it?
Shooting the shit.
Obviously.
But of course.
That's going to be something great.
Yes. The iPhone. So, those of you that heard me mention Dignation earlier in the show, I am a fan of Dignation. I find them hilarious.
I can't even find a word to describe it.
Oh, man. It is funny. Especially when he's spreading the taco there.
You're laughing,
funny.
man, but I went to Quiznos today, and they had one of those things.
Really?
Yes, I went to.
But it wasn't in the shape of a taco.
No,
You didn't have
well,
to.
it was some kind of
It's very
funny box.
graphic what he did.
Yeah, spreading the taco and stuff. That would be funny. Spraying the mayonnaise in your sub and stuff.
Oh man. Okay.
But
Anyways, we don't want to sink to their level.
No, but they are starting to.
So there were
those...
no one there.
What?
There was no. Well, I
Yes,
guess there
was
would be people
You
to
could,
make it.
You could ask them I asked them what I wanted to get, but there was a little machine there with a little thingy, and you could there was a touch screen, and you could simply touch on whatever you wanted to get. And I have no idea how the thing worked because I didn't use it, and I don't really want to use it.
It looks like an ATM. Come on.
Yeah, but the one at the Quiznos was much smaller though. It was like maybe the size of a computer.
Wow.
And then you just press stuff, and there's pop-ups and little bubbles and shit.
I just hope they don't use that as their primary source of getting orders. Because think of old people that go in there, they can't use an ATM. They are going to be there forever.
Oh, and they call it the express lane.
I know. Well, that's why they should just put, okay, come up here, you'll get your order. If the line's too full, you know, just move over there, and the people will work on it.
The ATM and the line for the old people. Eventually. It would be fun, though, if you could, like, I don't know.
Segregate lines. Be like, okay, listen, if you're going to be picking out change and stuff, you stand over here. If you're going to pay with debit.
There is cash-only lanes and stuff like that.
Yes, but
it would be
pennies
fun,
are
though,
not
if you could
qualified.
simply go on your computer, maybe some kind of website. I'm sure some places have it, I don't know. But you make your order, sends it directly to the restaurant, they do it, you drive up there, and it's all ready.
Pizza Hut does that. They you get to order from online.
Oh, that's cool.
I believe Domino's does as well. But I think Subway, you can phone in and be like, hey, I want to get a party platter.
But the only problem with Subway, though, is that they really make it like you want it to be made. So
I know, they make you want to, you know, it's like Jimmy Diggs said, he's like, I order a specialty sandwich, and she asked me what I want on it, and I say, no, listen, I'm not the one that makes the sandwich. I want a super big BLT thing. I don't have to make it. I tell you I want that, and I will tell you, oh yeah, add salt, you know, or don't add salt. You don't, it's retarded.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, I'm not the sandwich maker here.
Usually they ask, though. Anyways, for
they
me,
do.
they always
they
ask what if they want it, like, do you want this? And I say yes and no. But sometimes that gets, like, so fucking annoying. And one time...
See, I think what they should do is they should make the sandwich and make you say, no, I don't want this.
Yeah, well,
because, you know, it's like, oh, jalapenos are part of the sandwich. If you don't like them, you see me going to grab them, tell me you don't want them.
Once I said to the guy, give me everything. And
wow,
the guy kept asking me, do you want this? Do you want this? I said, dude, I want everything. And he kept asking. It was like, I don't know, dude, man.
Dude, man. that is something. Wow, I've never asked for everything.
Yes.
Anyways, on to the iPhone. We'll quickly cover this.
The iPhone. I don't know how it's gonna be though.
Dignation. Kevin Smith is not the correct guy. Kevin Rose is.
Yes.
Kevin Rose. He was dead on with the iPod Nano, so his source is solid. Provided he's not fired yet. So pretty much, he's saying it's gonna be pretty awesome.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. An iPod phone. Like,
well,
I'm not too attracted by those. Yeah, obsessed. I'm not obsessed with the phones being MP3 players. Like, if I want a phone, I want a phone. If I want an MP3 player, I'll get an MP3 player. Like, I have an iPod. I don't want. I don't give a shit if there's MP3 player on my phone. I want it. I'm like Alex. If I want a phone, I want it to be a phone.
Yeah.
Like
and for how much the phone will actually carry of music, you could get an iPod Shuffle.
Yeah. Well,
you could just
they said it's going to be in what, 2 and 4 gigs.
Yeah, 2 and 4. No, 4 and 8 gigs.
4 and 8. That's exactly the same thing as the Nano.
And it will be 2 batteries. I like this idea.
Yeah, but if you want an MP3 player in it.
If you're obsessed with it, yes. But other than that,
a battery for the MP3 player. So that means the phone will be at least half an MP3 player.
Yeah. Well,
they're putting a lot of emphasis on that.
They don't say how big the batteries are compared to each other. It's not like the phone is 4 and it's difficult to say. But hey, it is a good idea because if you wanted your phone for music, you would always be worrying about, oh, I can't listen to this on my subway home. I guess the train ride home.
Yeah.
I can't listen to it the whole 2 hours because I need to receive calls.
Well, you can receive calls anyways.
Yes, But that's the thing. You can't die down your battery. But other things that are being said is there's going to be a slide-out keyboard.
Yeah, that's
Slide-out keyboard.
sometimes good.
It is sometimes good. Like BlackBerry, I would love that because my PDA, I rarely use it if I have to type because I have to use the little stylus and I don't have a keyboard for it.
Well, you can't. Isn't there like on-screen keyboard?
Yes, there is. That's what you poke the stylus. But other than that, it has a touch screen.
Yeah, but the iPhone should have a touch screen.
Yeah, it is. It's going to have a touch screen.
They say it's going to have too much stuff, man. Imagine the size of the... Like,
that's what he said.
They've been able to reduce it so small. If you look at the iPod Shuffle or the Nano, it's pretty fucking small. But I don't know, man. Making his phone...
He said it's going to be small as shit. Yeah, that's what he said. Small as shit. And as you mentioned before, it's going to have flash memory.
Yeah, flash memory. I don't know, man. Because the iPods, except for the Shuffle, they're all hard drive memories.
That's correct. But the Shuffle, I can see how you like that for jogging, so it can't have moving components in it. So
yeah, but,
I understand.
Well, they're all for jogging, if you can say that. But they're going into...
If you just tape it to your...
Take the iPhone, they're going into flash memory. What did I say? Flash memory is going away.
That's right. But hey, I would never buy... Have you seen Dan Hubert's original iPod? It's like the first-gen iPod.
Oh,
it's like a tank.
I know.
It's huge.
But it's impossible
That's why...
to break, man. Almost.
Well, I wouldn't say impossible. Smash my iPod much?
Yeah, but it's not... Smash my iPod wasn't the first one.
I didn't keep up to date with that, but, you know.
They smashed a
Either
Nano
way.
in half. They went there a second time, they bought a Nano, and some guy just smashed it on the side of the table, on the sharp side. You know,
yeah.
Bent in two, and then the guy started cracking it up open, and then they were kicked out of the mall for 1 year.
1 year.
Yeah.
Anyways, and he said all the major phone companies will be carrying it.
That's
so
at least a good thing. Because
that's what everyone was worried about.
Because many phones don't even actually have all carriers. Like the Razr now has everyone, but at the start it didn't have everyone, and many phones still don't have
That's the thing.
Everyone.
You can't jump onto the bandwagon first gen. I don't know, like man. Even Xbox. That's sketchy. But hey, now they're fixing the power source problems and stuff like that. That's why things get better over time. And that's why you can't go out and buy a Blu-ray machine, because it's not definitely going to be around
it's like those
when it's actually...
What are they doing with that anyways? And now?
What are they doing with that anyways? That's none of their business. Anyways, next topic is December's 2006 AutoSimSport is out. Have you read many of those?
Nope, I actually haven't had the time to read all those, 80 pages and stuff?
Yeah, and it's every month, and it's on the computer. And some people... Yeah, and even Leo Laporte, he has this little TV thing that he reads his books on whatever. And but anyways... They've been doing it for a while now, and they're pretty good. It's pretty much an online magazine about sim racing. So I like the idea. I think it's brilliant. But awesome. A lot of it isn't too compelling, For me, I find a lot of it is a lot of jibber jabber. It's not straight to the point. They don't shoot from the hip.
They don't shoot the shit directly.
They babble on.
Yeah.
They babble on. They're like, oh, and then we invited this one guy over, and he's going to explain something we're never going to use. So it's out at AutoSimSport.net, so go check it out. They're worth a good flip through. If you're into
for the major stories and stuff.
Yeah, like they cover R-Factor mods and stuff like that. If you're an LFS racer, you don't have to worry about that, right? Although you may want to show some interest in the competition. But also, another thing today, 13 episodes of CSI Miami.
Oh, that's something.
on A&E. 13 episodes. Don't they already show 5 episodes a day?
Almost. Well, they show usually 2 a day, sometimes 3, and on Fridays they show 5.
That, like,
Oh,
I like CSI.
Yeah, that's a good show.
It's a good show.
Some are not all that great, though. But
I know,
it's
some
good.
are just like, come on,
Well,
you like...
which CSI?
CSI Miami.
Okay, yeah, those are good.
I personally like the original in Las Vegas
Mm-hmm.
because of Grissom. And, but CSI Miami, I like the show, but 13 hours of it.
It's a lot, man.
I know someone that tapes every episode.
I used to do the 5 hours a day thing.
Yeah, I know. You did that for like a week, and you're like, okay,
More
I
than
can't
a
do
week.
it anymore.
I did for at least 3 weeks, man. But
Oh, come
13 hours, man. That's a lot.
13 hours. Like, you have to tape, like, for people that tape that, think of that. You're going to have to, what, watch like 2 episodes a day for 6 days? Like, come on.
Man.
Plus, you have already existing episodes. Like, they're all reruns, pretty much.
I'm sure of that.
Yeah, and it's just amazing how, like, personally, I wasn't a big TV fan.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't watch it a lot, and out of nowhere, CSI hit me 5 days a week. I'm like, what? What the hell? It's very shocking to the system. You're like, oh, I like the show, but I can't stare at a TV for 13 hours.
Well, you get bored after a while. Like, usually I think
sometimes
over 5 hours of stuff is tough.
Yes.
Unless it's
like
really,
a movie.
Really good there.
You can't stay compelled to a movie if your ass is hurting and your back's hurting. You're like, okay, I ran out of food. I'm thirsty. I can't, keep attached to the
there's
TV.
commercial breaks on A&E.
A lot. I was watching American History X last night. That movie is awesome, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
But it took a long time. There were like probably 7 commercials.
Oh, wow. I hate commercials during a movie. That's ridiculous.
Even worse, the other night, I can't remember what station it was on, but I watched Casino. Have you seen it?
No.
With Robert De Niro?
Nope.
Anyways, it was a good movie, but it started at about 1 o'clock and it ended at 4:30.
Wow.
And then I wanted to watch Control Alt Chicken. And it was just crazy. I'm like, okay, I'm done staring at screens for today. But 13 hours. Could you see yourself sitting down watching 13 hours?
It's a lot. Not 13 hours. Not 13 hours of CSI, anyways. Like, I could do the 5 hours thing, which even in the last episode, I was starting to get like, shit, is this over yet? But
yeah, sometimes you're like, oh, hurry up. I know who did it. Let's just get it over with.
But 13 hours of CSI, I don't know, man.
What if they were different? What if it was like CSI Miami for 2 episodes, then CSI New York? Would you go for that?
That would break the beat, though. Like,
well,
it wouldn't.
Who wants a marathon?
It wouldn't follow the flow.
Maybe a marathon of crime, not a marathon of CSI Miami.
Yeah. Well, do the episodes are one after the other? Like,
yes.
The actual season one after the other?
I believe so.
I hope so. Because sometimes they are.
But see, this is the problem. They
when
can't
I was watching it in the 5 hours, like, Tim Speedo, I think his name is, one of the guys.
Yeah, he dies.
He's dead. And then you watch, it is Adam Wolf, the other guy that replaced him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you're like at the 3rd or 4th episode, and then Tim Speedo's back.
It's madness.
I hate that.
But how can they show a season? Say they say season 2, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The brand new season is like season 8 or whatever they're on. If they were to show once a week, how would you know? Because they show it 18 times a week? How can you go, oh, okay, the new CSI is on. Finally, I've been like how could you follow a series like that when they show nothing but reruns?
You can't.
In other news we have here is something I cannot read.
That's great.
That is illegible. But that's fine. Raceline Radio. Raceline Radio is a radio station which is everywhere. It's across Canada.
Really?
It is. And I was actually sitting up one night. It was like 12 o'clock a.m. and it was after the Canuck game. So I was done listening to the play-by-play, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just lay here in bed. And Raceline radio came on, and they were talking about Champ Car. I'm like, oh, this is kind of fun. What's this about? And it ends up that it's a full-blown racing program. And they talked a little bit about NASCAR near the end, which was good. But once
they got to make it interesting.
No, the NASCAR failed to be interesting. But other than that, it was pretty decent. And I was like, you know what, this is fun. I like this. They're talking about Sebastian Bourdais. They're talking about Champ Car. They're jumping from series to series. So I'm like, you know what, this is fun. And you know what? They play in a lot of places. They play in Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal.
The main cities of Canada.
Yeah, Edmonton. You know, wherever you are, you can listen to this radio. Because, seriously, I've looked around on the internet, and I haven't found many decent racing programs. Like The Grid with Mike Izio. He talks about biking a lot. Like, he's like, oh, and today, and Lance Armstrong. I'm like, oh, man. And he also talks a lot about NASCAR. And they start the show with NASCAR, so that's boring as hell. But, so we kind of hope to fill the void of, there's the shows that are, about racing in general, and then we'll be more about the open wheel aspect of racing. But check out raceline.ca.
Do they, can you listen to them on the radio, on the internet?
I believe so.
Okay.
You actually have to go to a different website though. It's 900 AM CHML, I believe.
Yeah, you have to listen to the radio it goes on.
Yeah, you have to actually listen to the broadcast itself live. See, I wish they had a podcast. That would be good. A lot of stations are doing that.
Yes.
Like Jim Rome. Jim Rome is very good. I just noticed him now. He's on my AM dial, and his pace when he talks on the radio is awesome. I just love it because he has these little silences, and it pretty good.
Okay.
Pretty good. It's one of my favorite radio stations there.
That's pretty awesome.
AM 1040. Yeah, but the only thing I dislike about him is when you want to, listen to his podcast, you have to be a member.
Really?
For like $30 a month or something.
Sucks.
It does. It really does. He's out of California, so check your AM dial. He's probably on. But the podcast, I wouldn't pay $30 a month for it.
Me neither. Unless it's no, I wouldn't.
Well, it's an interesting show. Maybe if it talked more about, hockey or CFL. He's mostly about, I found that a lot of people in America that are sports broadcasters talk about everything. Like the wise guys in Las Vegas, they talk so little about sports. It's embarrassing. It's like, oh yeah, you're here on Sports Talk Radio, AM 640. And we are here talking about Britney Spears. And then after Britney Spears, we'll talk a little bit about Paris Hilton. And then after that, we'll throw in a little Rosie O'Donnell, and then we'll tell you who won the football game last night. It's crazy.
Wow.
It's very crazy. Anyways, is that about all?
I think it is. Pretty much.
That is about all. So we tried to keep it around an hour,
and
but we
went way over.
failed miserably.
Well, it's not all that bad. Maybe an hour, almost an hour 15. But that's okay.
Yeah.
It's a good
That's
show.
okay.
It's just long enough to cover the off days we're keeping during probably the holidays coming up.
Yes, the holidays, we're going to probably take a couple days off. But we plan to bring this to you weekly. And what day do you think we'll be releasing them weekly?
What do you mean?
Like what time of day.
Oh, really?
I mean, like what, Tuesday, you think?
Yeah,
you think
Tuesday
we'll release
is
them on
what we
Tuesday?
had agreed on.
So we'll probably release them every Tuesday.
So even
and,
this one's going to be released Tuesday, which is like tomorrow. But today,
yeah.
but yesterday at the same time.
Yes, it's impressive.
Yes.
So we'll plan to bring it to you steady.
Steady, if possible.
Steady every single week.
Exactly.
In the 2007.
And
2006, we're just finishing up here.
Mm-hmm.
And
Wrapping up
there
the
was a
year.
fair bit of noise. I mean,
well,
news.
It wasn't all that bad.
Yeah, I know. People were working on my place. I can't do anything.
But anyways,
but there were
everything we everything we talked about will be usually found on our website. The links to the main stories, funny pics like those Stuart Fords and Jaguars we talked about quite a long bit ago, and all those fun things on our website, which we actually don't even have the domain yet. So it's right now, for the moment, it is lfsindy in one word .com/RTR, right?
That once again is lfsindy.com/RTR.
Yes, RTR.
So that stands for Race Tech Radio, because we want to bring mostly racing and technology news.
Especially that both are most of the time together.
Yeah, because they collide pretty well, especially in Formula One.
Oh yeah.
But I don't think you'll be seeing much, flash memory in Formula One cars.
Especially not in NASCAR.
NASCAR, you have an engine, a restrictor plate, and a steering wheel.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Pretty much it, I guess.
Well, I guess that's the end of Race Tech Radio for now.
Mm-hmm.
So you can check out the website for all the updates, the news, and the podcast, but of course, and we will see you next week.